Australia, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. Yes, good evening. It's Jamie from Blood, Sweat and Metal. G'day, it's Australia Day. As you can see, I've got my Australian flag on it. It's been signed by a few bands that I've been taken to concerts with. We have got Nightwish sign on here. We've got Ice Earth and Hammerfall sign on this Australian flag. And I'm drinking an old classic Australian brew. I'll just get this out. If you can see it, it's Foster's. Yes, it's an old classic Australian one. But yes, it's Australia Day here. It's in Australia. It's our birthright. It's our birthday, and I'm wearing AC/DC just to celebrate a little bit more. I'll just take this off my shoulder for now. I'll put it beside me. But how's it going? Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, thank you for all the support that you have given us with the girls' school interview I did last week, and also with Lost Society. If you haven't seen it yet, please go to our YouTube channel. It's there as well. But I have got another killer interview where I'm speaking to Brisbane very own band Lagerstein. They're a bit of a pirate type of lager, drinking ale type of band. We're speaking to George from that, and it's going to be coming up very, very shortly. So I hope everyone has enjoyed Australia Day, watched the cricket, played some football, gone to the beach. Hope you had a barbie. I hope you've done everything you can. But now the night has set in. We've got some news to share. And we'll start off at the top before we get into the interview. There's some sad news that came out a couple of days ago that old bass player Jimmy Bain from the Rainbow and Dio band, and also Last in Line, has passed away. And Vivian Campbell, who was his bandmate, has came out and said a few things that we like to share with you guys. And just a sad start of the year. We had so many people in the music industry like Lemmy from Motorhead, David Bowie, Glenn Frey from the Eagles, the drummer from What the Hoople, and now we have Jimmy Bain from Rainbow, Dio, and Last in Line band. Vivian Campbell, it was the heaviest of hearts that I must confirm the news of the passing of our dear friend and band member for Last in Line, Jimmy Bain. It was Jimmy who gave me his first big break in the music industry. For that, I am forever indebted. Vinny Appice is also the band member. He's a bit upset how the news got broken out to the internet before it even was confirmed by the band. People would jump on it and that, so it is a bit concerning, but it's now been confirmed that Jimmy Bain is now no longer with us, and it's a sad day in the music industry as it is. Let's go on some positive news, shall we? That Black Sabbath has released 4 unreleased tracks that was supposed to be on the latest album, 13. It is officially released, as we can say. These are previously unreleased from the sessions, and it has hit the internet. Black Sabbath is also selling a new limited edition CD titled The End at the shows of the Farewell Tour, which is already kicked off on the 20th of January in Nebraska over in America. The disc will feature 4 previous unheard studio tracks from 13, but also the 4 tracks, as I mentioned, are up on internet if you want to check them out. I have heard some fans have that have heard this track saying it sounds awesome and whatnot. So if you want to go and check it out, please do. Otherwise, be like myself and wait till the tour hits Australia and pick up the CD from the merch desk and take it home and listen to it that way. NAMM over in America had just wrapped up, and what an outstanding event that has been over many, many years. So many signature guitars, drum, bass, you name it, they have it all over there. Many guests from bands and etc. go to this event every single year. That just wrapped up yesterday, and I've got to tell you, I have a friend over there at the moment who is absolutely loving it, and on their way back in a couple of days, and that person doesn't want to come back home. I can understand. I know what it's like over that side of the world. But yeah, there's so many things and stories that's been coming out over there as well. So I'll wait for the official report that comes back, and then I can share them with you guys as well. Here's a bit of news that just opened my eyes up a bit, that Guns N' Roses alleged reunion tour was not a full reunion. It got Duff and flashback with Axl. Well, there's a VIP for the upcoming reunion shows that are priced at $2,500, and yet you don't even get to meet the band. What it actually states is that the newly reunited Guns N' Roses will play 2 nights at the Las Vegas residency in April. And great news for everyone who's been craving for the reunited Guns N' Roses with Axl. But for the price of one savings account, $2,500, you could have a signature VIP experience, which includes a seat in the first 10 rows and behind-the-scene escorted VIP package backstage tour, among other things. However, this VIP pass will not buy a meet and greet with Axl, Slash, or Duff, probably because Axl and Slash won't wait or won't want to be anywhere near each other prior to stage time, but that's purely a speculation as such. So, question I'd like to ask you fans, would you pay that amount of money to see a backstage entourage tour and get the first 10 rows, and yet you don't get to meet the band? Me personally, no, I will not. I won't even pay that if you did pay to meet the band. You know, I was fortunate enough to win a competition 3 years ago for a Kiss meet and greet here in Adelaide. That was enough for me. I mean, I don't want to buy a meet and greet. If I want to, I'll shall do. But, you know, for that amount of money, I won't buy it. Anything under 1,000, I probably will. But anything over 1,000, no, forget about it. So the question is, will you pay that amount of money? I believe there'll be some people out in that world that we live in will do it. A couple more things before I will share is that I went to receive a little package, and that package contained a Christmas card, and I'll just show you that on my phone. There's an Iron Maiden Christmas card that's been signed by the members of the band and whatnot have you. It's a bit late, as you know, but it's better late than never. Well, that's now sitting over my mantelpiece over there. So I'd like to share you that. That just came in the mail just a couple of days ago. But also, it was just a prized possession I have now. I think I have shown you in the last one, but now I can show you some of the fans. It's on my phone and what have you. Well, I will be doing a full episode for iTunes, TuneIn, Podomatic tomorrow. I do have another interview lined up on Thursday with Flesh God Apocalypse. Earlier tonight, I just got off the phone to Norwegian band Bortnegger. That has been completed, in the can, ready to be put up tomorrow. They'll probably go up before the episode I do tomorrow recording, so that will go up online. So you'll get to hear what we have to say that. But tonight, for Australia Day, we have got George from Lagerstein. We talked about their upcoming album that will be released on the 6th of February. Also, the upcoming tour, which they start in Brisbane with the Lagerfest right the way through to March with Rainbow Dragon Eyes. So stick around. We also talk about how he joined the band, what advice he gives for any upcomers that want to get into the music business, start a rock and roll band, and also some of the funny things that happened on tour with Alstorm just recently. They went on tour with Alstorm right across Australia, and there's a couple of stories he'd like to share with that. So let's have a party now. I'll keep drinking me Fosters with my Brutality beer stubby holder. I've got to go back and cool off and do what I need to do to get myself ready for tomorrow episode that I'm recording for you guys. There are some great new material. I cannot wait for you guys to hear this and leave that as a surprise for tomorrow. But before I go, join us on Facebook at Blood, Sweat and Metal. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Blood, Sweat and Metal. Go to our Twitter page, subscribe or follow us, like us, do whatever you have to do. Also, with all the Podomatic, TuneIn, iTunes applications, please subscribe. The reason why I say that is as soon as an episode like this or a full episode gets posted, you'll be notified straight away on your phone, your iPad, whatever. You might even get an email saying it's been put up. So you guys can instantly go and check it out. And it saved me time for posting up around hundreds of other pages on social media so I can get some people to jump on board. But tomorrow, as I mentioned, I've got a full day schedule as well. And we will be talking to Flex God Apocalypse on Thursday. So stick around for that. All right, now, enough for me waffling on, boring you, whatever you may say, please. This is Lagerstein. For Australia Day, raise your glasses, say good day to your mate, and remember, don't punch anyone in the head. Catch you later. Hello, folks. This is Jamie from Blood, Sweat and Metal. I have an outstanding guest here who probably will get me a bit thirsty later on after the completion of this interview. But I have Greg from Lagerstein. G'day, Greg.
Ahoy, how are we doing, Jamie?
Good, man. And I've got to say, man, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Chris Merrick for lining this up. You guys did a rehearsal earlier this evening, been pushed back to my time, 10 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, man, this is the second album that's coming out, and I will get the album's title right now for you fans out there in Australia or overseas, because we are getting some hits overseas here, Greg, that listen to Blood, Sweat and Metal as well. So we are doing quite well, actually.
That's fantastic.
But I'll get the album title in a sec. But Greg, before we get into the album, you guys just came back off a tour late last year with Alstorm. How was that?
That was bloody fantastic. Pirate Fest around Australia. It's always good to see the Alstorm fellas. They're top blokes, and no, we had an awesome time. It was better than we expected, and everything went very well. We performed well. Everything was top notch. So we couldn't have asked for a better tour ourselves.
Yeah, and by saying that, you're going on tour again on February, March around Australia. You're hitting all the pubs and clubs around Australia. I know here in Adelaide we've got the Enigma Bar. They have 3-litre beer towers down in the beer garden downstairs when you come around, man. So I know there's going to be a lot of ale flowing and a lot of drinking pirates that will probably all dress up as well for the night.
I heard that last time you were talking to Gareth from Alstorm, and you mentioned that, so I got myself very keen for that straight away. Don't believe me. It was a good something to hear.
Yeah. Well, All for Rum and Run for All is coming out very, very shortly. You can pre-order it now on their website at lager.com.au. Lagerstein.com. But Greg, I want to ask, man, how did all that come about? This is the second album for you guys. You must be thrilled with how the ride you guys have been going since 2010, since the first album.
Well, yeah, I wasn't actually the singer for the first album, Drink Till We Die. That was Ultra Lord. He signed off when I took over in 2013. But ever since then, it's been an awesome ride, and you can see that this album's just stepped up a whole lot since the first album. So it's we're really keen to release it to the world and tour it in February. So we're really happy with how it's turned out, and we couldn't have really asked for a better sort of production style, and all the instruments that we got to guest on it, and everything just all ran very smoothly, and we're very happy with it, to be honest.
With the song Drink or Rum that's off the album, I really love that song. It's a party going. I mean, all the songs off this album is a party goer, but I just want you to break down the chorus for those fans that might be a bit hard to understand. How do you slow that chorus down so the fans can get ready for this tour?
Drink the rum?
Yeah.
So it's yo ho honey, ya ha ha. We drink our rum and slam it down. Fill it up for another round to get that shit back off the ground. So basically the story is we've been in a bit of a battle with some other ships. We picked up some booty. We've looted some ships and got some ale, and we found out we've got too much ale, and the ship's just not taking off. You know, it's too heavy. There's too much rum on board. So I set the crew out to have a bit of a good drinking session and lighten us up a bit so we can get back up to the skies. You know, so it's just a full-on party song where we're actually releasing a film clip pretty soon to it in very soon. So keep an eye out for that. But it's an animation and it's a good bit of fun, and it tells the story well, I think.
Yes, it does. And you're the captain this time of the ship. You always get thirsty more than others. So how do the boys keep you on the happy side, basically?
They're always feeding me drinks. I've always got someone behind me. I've recently acquired a new mate called Quade the Quacker, who's a family heirloom. He's in the shape of a duck. He's a glass duck. So he's always filled the boys, make sure they always have a beer bong ready for me or a shoey ready for me, and but the main thing, I like to keep my crew happy at the same time, because you keep a crew happy and they'll keep you happy. So that's it all works hand in hand, I think. Yeah,
it does. Another good song off the album is Jungle Juice. I love that song as well. Jungle Juice is just another great way to get the fans in the mood of drinking. And if you love drinking like I do, I get thirsty. I don't get drunk. I get really thirsty. But yeah. Jungle Juice is another cracker of an album song as well. And also the first single off the album, Raise a Stein. Now, that is the party goer. That's the kicker. You've got to get a stein, you've got to raise it. And if it's empty, go back to the bar or whatever and get it refilled. So this album must be great. For me personally, I want to say a little bit more in depth with this album. This is something that's so fresh. I mean, you came off the Alstorm tour. Now this album's coming out. This is a new chapter that's been turned over for you guys. And I can see you guys can probably go to Varken and be on one of those side stages, because last year, I'll just say a bit of a story. To have these like superheroes all dressed up in a different colour, like blue, green, yellow, so forth. But if you guys being pirates, drinking about ale in Germany, this will be a hand-in-hand match winner for you guys.
Oh, definitely. We are beyond keen to go and play festivals over in Europe. That's what we're all planning to do this year. So Varken is top of our list, but anywhere in between, we're pretty happy to get over there and play some festivals, because it is good festival going music. I think it's good party.
Yeah. Well, how is it for you now? I mean, you're the new captain, so to speak, new frontman singer. How's the transition from when they first started to now? Did you had any hurdles, or do you really knew what you were going into at the start?
No, I really didn't have any idea. I hadn't really been in a band. I'd been in a few little bands, but we hadn't really gone anywhere, sort of thing. But no, this is my first real band experience. I came straight out of uni, and I'd had all the sort of preparation for it, but I never really prepared myself this much to this sort of extent that that being in a band that's actually, you know, just doing it 100% for the band, it's a lot different than, you know, sort of doing that and then having a day job and having all those other things to worry about. It's just 100% into the band, and if you're not into that mind frame and you're not enjoying it at the same time, then there's no really point being there, because you're just wasting everyone else's time. So it's something that you need to just 100% throw yourself into, and I'm really glad that I've done this, because this is just 100% my life now, and I couldn't think of anything I'd rather be doing, to be honest.
And you got 7 members in the band too. They must all appreciate your work as well, because without the chemistry and without the brotherhood, so to speak, this will probably be fun in some ways, but can be boring and disastrous down the track. But no, there's none of that. You're all going there in a one motion. You're all having fun. You're all drinking lager and rum and whatnot. But most importantly, you're all just a fresh band now compared to some of the bands I've been listening to just recently.
Yeah. And then that's all. Our biggest thing is to just, if we're not having fun, even at practice every time we practice a couple of times a week, and if we're not enjoying practice, then something's up, because we're always having a good time, having a laugh. If we're just sitting around, just, you know, having a few drinks, we'll always be having a laugh. There's no time that goes dull with these boys. It's just one of the biggest. They're biggest inspirational. They're so motivational. It's just a really good crew of blokes to be around, and I'm happy to be their captain.
Going back to the album, how long did that all take process? Because from what I'm hearing from the album so far, it's just a massive story. All ties in together. So how long did this one set down play for you guys in the studio?
Well, yeah, it's a pretty long process. When they started writing the album, I think when Dale was still in the band, the Ultra for the former frontman, I think they started writing it and they kind of slowed down after they lost him and looking for someone else. But then I think we just started recording in maybe just the start of 2015, maybe even a little bit earlier. I don't think it was that early, but so it was a pretty long process. To the whole of last year was just dedicated to finishing writing and recording this album. So it was a long writing process to be able to tie it all together, because it is quite an in-depth story, and we do try to tie it in and make it such a concept that everyone can sort of hear, and you don't have to really struggle to be listening out for the story, and you don't have to struggle to follow the sort of storyline. You can just see it's painted there like a picture, and that's how we like to do it. We like to make things nice and clear and just bring the party. So I think it was a long process, and it was definitely a tiring process. We were very meticulous in the studio. All our studio sessions took ages just because we wanted pure perfection. All the boys are perfectionists. All 7 of us, you know. So we're never going to walk out of the studio feeling unhappy. We always spend that extra hour or two to make it what we really wanted.
Now, were there any other singles that didn't quite make the cut? I mean, you were saying just then that some of the songs were already written before you came in, but when you came in, was there any songs left off the album, or was this the final cut?
Yeah, there was bits and pieces, but we kind of just found what we liked, and we really dedicated our time into those songs. And if we didn't like something that didn't suit, we'd just kind of change it up or put another section into it, or just scrap the song altogether, and we just, you know, sort of start again. But there was a few times when there was a bit of a collaboration of a few pieces put together that we liked the part of this song, but we didn't like the verse of this one, and we just kind of mixed it together, and it all kind of worked in the end. So even Fountain of Rum, our final track, was a bit of a mixture of a few different songs. So there was no songs that we fully developed and then just didn't make the cut in the end. We just more focused on, you know, writing 10 really good solid songs that we could all be happy with and have a good outcome for.
And like I said, man, this is an outstanding album. I mean, I was pinching myself basically when I first heard the guitar riffs. Now, this to me sounds a bit like Dragon Force, but not that much speeder. It's a bit more folk, of course, but it's still got that groove of Dragon Force, or a bit more of a power metal from overseas, but you translate it in such a way that it's fun for everyone to listen to and enjoy. And my flatmates and my partner here was listening to it as well. They absolutely love it, this album. They absolutely do.
Awesome. It's really good to hear other people getting into it.
Yeah. But how do you master what you do in the studio compared to the live thing? Because I can just picture it now, what it's like being at a Lagerstein concert. I've heard stories and I haven't yet seen you guys live yet, but how can you master from going from a studio to the live stage? I mean, there must be so much thrill behind all that concept that you guys created to perform that in a live audience.
Yeah, see what we like to do, even when we're practicing, just jamming at nights, we just play it as if it's a show, and the same in the studio. I was rum deep in the studio. We were all pretty, jolly. We had good jolly times, and there was never a dull moment in the studio, even when there was just one person in the sort of in the box. But even I was running around with my shirt off and doing backflips and whatnot in the inside the booth, because you just need to get that energy. So you bring out what you want to bring out when you're on a live sort of situation. And in live, you're just trying to focus in on having a great time, but at the same time bringing the best show that you can, the best live performance, and the best of your abilities to that sort of crowd. You don't want to just be too wasted that you can't do anything, or you can't even sing or talk to the crowd or something. So it's a big balance of being able to control yourself in that sort of sense, but at the same time bringing the party and having a great time.
Well, before we get into this new tour as well, you guys must be thrilled with all the excitement and the buzz going around about Lagerstein. Everyone's mentioning you from right across Australia, not only here but overseas too. You must be thrilled with hearing that from the peers as well, especially with Alstorm just recently on tour. You guys must be really, really appreciated and thrilled just to be able to hear that your name is out now on the streets. People are talking about you. People are interested more about you guys. But not only that, you're getting more recognition from overseas as well.
Yeah, well, I think this year we've really stepped it up in the last couple of months too, because we are doing the DIY thing. So we just really need to knuckle down, and there's no other better way to do DIY than just really smashing it and getting into it. And we've been smashing heaps of PR marketing networks, and we've just been putting endless hours into it to kind of get our name out there, to get name out to the world. And I don't even know if a distribution company would do as good as a job as we are, because we're just so dedicated. We're so passionate about our product. So we've just pushed and messaged anyone we can, and not taken no for an answer sort of thing. Just and if every 10 no's there's a yes sort of thing. So we've just kind of really taken the DIY thing into our stride, and I think we're doing it pretty well. And it's only going to get better from here. So we're really stoked with the all the appreciation that's come from all over the globe. We've been looking at the stats, and there's just people from all over the place that we haven't even didn't even think that it would reach.
And it's also easier now that you've got social media as well. That's a positive note too, because if you went back 20 years ago when we had no social media, it was a little bit harder. You have to do it via the phone call or whatnot. But now you can promote yourself. You can get PR. You can get myself and other people on independent radio, even commercial radio in some cases, to support you and get the promoters to take a risk, or not a risk, but take a punt on you guys to show yourself, market yourself, and do all of that as well. And that's what leads me into this next thing, is that you guys are coming out on tour on the 6th of February. It's called the Lagerfest as well. But you're also going on tour with Rainbow Dragon Eyes, which is another funny name, but they're probably an awesome band too. You guys must be looking forward to that tour starting on the 6th of Feb.
I'm beyond keen. As soon as we finished Pirate Fest, the next day I thought I need to get back on the road, because this is just too much fun. Yeah. And this tour is just going to be an awesome way to kick off our full Lagerstein 2.0 sort of our next life sort of journey. the Lagerfest actual Brisbane day is going to be a huge day. We've got some awesome bands right from the start of with Skeleton Key, who's an acoustic. I think they're about a 5-piece, 6-piece. And they have, they're just the full part regala. They're just awesome. So we've got them playing a couple of acoustic sets throughout. We've got bands such as who else? We've got Laced in Lust from down your way, actually. Down in Adelaide, we've got Osaka Punch making their big return to Brisbane. Who are over in England for in a year or so. And then Rainbow Dragon Eyes, we're bringing him out. He's just one guy, and he makes music with his Game Boy in 8-bit, and he dresses up in black metal paint and screams black metal over the Game Boy stuff that he's made, and it's just awesome. It's just something you got to see. I really can't explain it. It's just a really unique experience and a really unique show that you're not ever going to see. One man bloke, and he just totally rips it up by himself, and he does all his marketing, all his merch himself, and he's just a really something different you got to see sort of thing. It blows you away. And
you're going right through to the 11th of March. Unfortunately for those Perth fans, there's no date as yet from what I'm seeing on these dates, but you are going down to Canberra, you're going to Hobart, you are coming over to Adelaide. But yeah, those Perth fans, please be patient. I'm pretty sure Lagerstein will make a trip over there one day.
Yeah, well, because we just went over there with Pirate Fest with Alstorm. We would love to come back. It was an awesome show. We had a really good turnout, and really good response for us as well. So people really enjoyed us there. So we were really keen to get back there. Just on unfortunately with time issues on this tour, it just didn't work out for us. So we wanted to get back to New Zealand as well, but at the same time, it just didn't work out. So. But we have plenty of time. We didn't want to have to do it all in one tour sort of thing. So there's plenty of time. We can go back there and do it again. And I'm sure we'll see some good fans over in Perth. And yeah, it'll be good.
I don't know if I'm right to ask this question because you only just recently came into the band for Lagerstein. But if there's any advice that for anyone that wants to join a band or wants to start a band up as much as you came into Lagerstein, what's the best advice you can give them that if they want to pursue a career in the music?
I just say go into it wholeheartedly. Don't hold back and don't listen to what people tell you. Like there's so much going around these days that the music industry is dying, and you can't make any money off music. And there's so many people leaving bands. The Beards quit the other day because it was too hard. I heard that, and you hear all these things, and it's easy to get dragged down by them and get anchored down, and go with these stereotypes and think, well, why would I be in a band because it's just gonna leave me bankrupt and I'm gonna have nothing in the end anyway. But really, if you want to make it in music, just you gotta treat it like a business, and that's exactly how we're looking at it now. We're not really looking at it as a band, more so than a business where you're in it all together, as a 7-piece or however many piece you are, and you just got to be united and all have the same focus and all have the same dream and the same idea. And once you're all on the same track, then it's just going to work out brilliantly. And the biggest advice I give is just to never give up and just try every little thing and don't take no for an answer, and just push and push and push. There's so many reasons you can give to just give it all away and get a 9-to-5 job, but if you really want to do it, just head down, ass up.
Well, if there's any stories you'd like to share with the fans about the Alstorm tour, because I'm pretty sure you guys had a lot of drinking sessions together.
For this previous Australian tour?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to think of I think we all had teams. I'm pretty sure we were sitting on the Lager bus driving from maybe Brisbane to Melbourne or something like that, and we all started to have a few drinks, and we thought, we can make this a bit more fun, and we got some teams together and did some little drinking games. We had a shoey off and a running race, and we had a competition where you take a picture and post it on Facebook, and the first one to get likes wins. But no, it's all a bit of fun. We always love partying with Aylstone. They're just a good bunch of blokes, and
Yeah.
they love a drink as much as we do. I think we're a bit of a bad influence on them. They always kind of say, "Oh no, not Lagerstein again," but then they love it. I think so. You ask them, I think we'd be one of their favorite bands to tour with because we all get along, and that's all that matters. Sort of thing when you're with a touring band, if you don't get along, then it just makes the whole tour hard, you know. So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Well, that was a thing I was trying to lead into. You can't really take many things too seriously. You got to have your fun time as well, and not be, offended by what people may say and what people may do. And I think that's a little bit of a divide in some of the music world, so forth, because some people got to be careful what they say or what they write or what they sing. But there's other bands who just don't give a rat's ass what they do. As long as they're happy and the fans love it, they're going to keep continuing what they're going to do. And yes, there are some record executives and record labels out there that demand them to tone their language down or their content down. But if you don't take it too seriously, you can just bypass all of that and continue on.
Yeah, and that's where I think we went really well at going DIY. We can do what we want, and we have full control over our music. We don't have to listen to what anyone else says.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
and at the end of the day, we have so many influences from so many different bands. Like there's 7 of us, and it's a big band. So all 7 of us have listened to so many different things growing up, and even now when we're listening to things, we're all listening to different things. Some of us like black metal, some of us are old school Pink Floyd lovers, other like a bit of country and western. So it's not something that we can just put down to one genre, and I don't think that none of us, not one of us would can kind of get into that thing where you're like, oh, this is that genre, and you can't really get out of that because it's just not how the music world works. But there are a lot of people who just don't really appreciate us just because we drink a bit or sing about drinking, or it's not brutal enough for them, and you can definitely get into that mindset. But I think that's the best thing about us is we don't really give a hell, and we just like to be very multicultural and diverse, and we see things from all sorts of different aspects. We don't really have a one sort of groove we stick to. It's all just trying to get every sort of market there is.
Well, the new album, All for One, Run for All, you can get it on the 2nd of February. But if they don't want to go through the website to pre-purchase, how can they get it? Can they get it on tour? Can they get it at JB or any of the independent record stores?
Yeah, they can get it. We'll have it say on tour.
Yep.
I'm personally not too sure about any independent records shops at the moment, but it will be on iTunes and Spotify and all the other places where you can get that.
Yeah, all the other judge that's out there. Yeah, because I'm looking forward to getting the physical copy. I've got the promo, but I want a physical copy for myself because I can remember seeing Captain James Cook. I mean, tomorrow's Australia Day. Happy birthday to Australia. But I can remember James Cook coming in 1788. And now I'm talking to Lagerstein, who is pirate. We'll talk about pirates. We'll talk about drinking ale. We can just change the whole discovery of Australia into Lagerstein Day tomorrow. Why not? I mean, we were founded upon by convicts and settlers and whatnot, but we want to change all that. We want to party tomorrow.
That's it.
And Lagerstein can change this whole thing around.
And you think about Australia, we may as well have been founded by pirates anyway. We're all a bigger bunch of partiers anyway, I know.
Well, South Australia was the only state that wasn't founded upon by convicts, so to speak. But, hey, I'm a New South Welsman, live in South Australia. That really does make it all a bit of misery for me. But I should have went up north to Brisbane. I used to live in Brisbane, but who knows? But I went west. I went to Perth for 8 years, went back to Sydney, and now came to South Australia. And they all thought I was a convict, but I was born here. I wasn't sent over on a boat, but maybe Lagerstein can help me a bit. You can come sailing around here. But no, tomorrow's Australia Day. If you want to listen to some great Aussie music. Lagerstein is on top of my list, and I encourage some of the listeners to crank some Australian music and some homegrown Australian music, and Lagerstein is just one of them. So, Greg, if there's any last things you'd like to say before we wrap it up, because we've been speaking for 27 minutes, you might have some commitments to do, but if there's any last thing you'd like to say to the fans around on Blood, Sweat and Metal, what would you like to say to them?
I hope to see you all out on this tour that we're doing with Rainbow Dragon Eyes. It's going to be an awesome tour, and you're going to hear a lot of new songs, and it's just going to be a big party. And we'd like to hang out there and drink with you all and have a great time, and cause a bit of a ruckus. We're never too good for the crowd, and we're never too good for the fans, and we like to get out there and talk to everyone and have a good time. So make sure you come out and say good day to us and say ahoy, and bring your wenches and bring your rum. And make sure you bring your eye patch and your hook as well. And it's been a great year, and we can't wait to see what this next year's got in store for us. We're really keen.
I don't know if I'll come along with the wooden leg, because the stage is upstairs, not down, because you've got to climb up some stairs in Adelaide. So I don't think a wooden leg will be all right. But if you dress up as a pirate, dress up as a convict if you want to, there's plenty of ale and whatever around the place, so make sure you get to one of these local events around Australia. It starts on the 6th of Feb at Brisbane and Lagerfest, and running it out on the 11th of March. Get your tickets at your venues, or go on lagerstein.com, and they have all the dates up there too. Once again, Greg, thank you so much. We'll see you here in Adelaide when you come around on the 27th of Feb, and I'll be there cheering you guys on.
All right, cheers, Jamie, and cheers to Blood, Sweat and Metal.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Cheers.
Cheers.